We've been asked to explain transactional currencies. Transactional currencies, this is a new concept that we have incorporated into POT. The reason we've done this is that if you're going to be interacting with the world around you, you have to have a means of payment. And credit cards and visas are not the way to do it. These are very insecure. Your data is liable to get stolen, and then people can go shopping using your cards. So, of course, Bitcoin is great, and it's a fantastic store of value. But as a technology, as a network, it's quite slow. And people, quite rightly so, are reluctant to integrate it into their coffee shop, where you may actually have a fee because the network is busy. And even if you pay the fee, it still may take a few hours, if not a day, for that transaction to clear. So a coffee shop can't afford to be waiting to see if they get paid. So we are introducing a thing called transactional currencies. Transactional currencies are created by the users, okay? And rather than having the proof of work being done by miners in the cloud, the transactional currencies allow you can actually predefine in the transactional currency what the process is going to be. So this process could be simply inviting people to use the transactional currency. So for example, and these will be the first ones that are launched, these will be using this process, is every time you invite 1,000 people into the transactional currency, the coins will be created and distributed equally amongst those who did the invitations. So if you invited 10 people, you will get 10 coins. If somebody else invited 100 people, they will get 100 coins. Now, there's a reason for this, and that is that in the crypto world, if you're doing cryptocurrency, you have miners. The miners are the ones that are processing the blockchain. They are also the ones getting the coin. Now, for people like you and I to be able to get those coins, unless you have a mining operation, you have to go through a third party, an intermediary. These are called exchanges. Exchanges, basically, you allow them, you give them fiat and they give you coin. So this gives us a centralized point of failure. In fact, nobody has ever lost cryptocurrency, or Bitcoin in this case we will talk about. Nobody has ever lost Bitcoin because of the blockchain. People have only ever lost Bitcoin because they had money in a centralized exchange which was hacked and they lost their money. Or they had their Bitcoin in a wallet and their phone was either stolen or hacked and they lost their wallet. So with transactional currencies, we rely on the user to actually go through the process to release the coin. That means the coin is directly in their wallet, on their phone. And so if they see somebody in the street who says, "Can I have some transactional currency?" they say, "Yes, for sure. Give me the cash and I'll give you the coin." So this is a peer-to-peer transaction rather than going through a centralized body. So this means there's less chance for hackers to actually hack a centralized system, because of course this is all distributed across many people. So the gain for a hacker would be a lot of work for very little gain. Where if you're going after a centralized exchange, if you get in, you could have millions. So transactional currencies are a very important part of what we think is going to be the future of the way we're going to interact with the world. Now, these transactional currencies could also be private currencies or loyalty points, if you want to give them a word. So, for example, you may have your favorite coffee shop that doesn't actually want to have a transactional currency. They just want to have a loyalty program. So maybe with them you could pre-charge your card with fiat. You give them 100 euros and they charge your account with 100 euros of their loyalty points, and then you can use that for buying services with them. Also, you may find this being used in places like nightclubs, where rather than fiddling with change and money, that you could preload your account with money at the entrance, and then you could buy your drinks all night with that. This is also safer for you because you don't have to worry about your pockets losing your cash. So this is the idea behind the transactional currency. We call it transactional currency. It is cryptocurrency. It is using blockchain. It is in a distributed manner. It's not centralized. In fact, every node that somebody deploys inside their own office or a coffee shop will become a node that is basically processing those transactional currencies. The difference is that they are behind the trust network. They are not open directly to unknown entities. You must be part of POTS to be able to deploy a node. So that means we can focus on the transactions and actually processing the transactions rather than worrying about the security. We call this a distributed entangled blockchain. Because in a scenario where you actually have a local area which may have many different transactional currencies, each one of those transactional currency could exist on the same nodes or on separate nodes, depending on who's using which one and which one they've invited their accepting or wanting to accept or wanting to be a part of. So this dilutes the potentiality for a hacker to actually gain large profits through hacking the blockchains. Firstly, they have to go through all the same problems that we would with Bitcoin, i.e. they'd have to gain control of the majority of the nodes, and those nodes that they do gain control of would only be a small fraction of the potential transactional currencies in that local area. So again, it deters hackers from trying to hack.